Hey, what's going on YouTube? Marine X back at it again. My 10 favorite made in America bangers. To make this list, you have to be wholly made in the USA, whether in your factory or you outsource certain things like hardware or heat treat or components somewhere in the United States. These are not in any particular order except for number one. Number one truly is my favorite as of right now, but 10 through 2, this is no particular order. First, we're going to start off with the Hogue Deca. Now, the Hogue Deca is just this banger of a knife. It's very fun to use. It has a great fidget factor. The able lock comes out of the factory really, really good. The ball bearings they're using on this is just really fantastic. I love a knife that's on a good pair of ceramic ball bearings instead of like washers. You can Spidey flick this. You can use this in just different ways. It is a very good knife. I have it in the CPM 20 CV, very slicey. The dark earth G10 scales are just very well done on this knife. I think you're going to thoroughly enjoy that. This is how it will look inside of an everyday carry with a good old, a multi-tool, knife, flashlight, maybe your key system, a wallet. It all kind of rounds itself out, looks very, very good. Price point on this works really well. One complaint, I think the pocket clip was an afterthought. Their logo is a little bit too big. I think that can be remedied in the future. And then other than that, I don't really have a ton of complaints about the Hogue Deca. I think it's a banger, and I think that's something that you would like a ton. Something else you're going to like a ton is going to be the Spyderco Shaman. The Shaman is just this big old beefy CPM Spy 27 blade steel compression lock thonky beast, okay? If I had to tell myself, X, what's your favorite Spyderco? It would probably be the Shaman. I think the Shaman Salt was probably my favorite. I got to check that out at Blade Atlanta, and I really, really liked it. This one is just thonky. It's beefy. If you got big old hands, you're gonna like the fact that this golden Colorado made knife is gonna fit everything you need. The pocket clip just kind of melds into your hand, and it feels really good no matter what slicing action that you're doing. And of course, it's a Spyderco. You can Spidey flick it. You can do all sorts of silly stuff with it. You can slow walk it open. You can do everything. The compression lock is fantastic. I think it looks really good in this blue color. I think you're going to enjoy this quite a bit. Here's the Shaman in an everyday carry. I think that it's this one's like a little clashy with the blue. Maybe you mix it up and you put a silverish multi-tool or something on there that might look really, really good. But the Shaman, a fantastic made in America knife. The price point on this is it's going to be definitely be over 200 bucks, but this could be your one and done knife that you kind of just use from everything from everyday carry to like light hunting and type of like campsite type stuff. You won't be disappointed. Something else you won't be disappointed in is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite version of a crossbar lock when this thing came out. This is the Three River Manufacturing, the Shadow. This is named after the owner's dog that was always in her shadow, right? So the show side has this beautiful G10 scales on here that are really well done with these like sun rays that are coming down the G10 scales, and even the cutoff, the replacement for the ambidextrous hole has a nice cover on it. The pivot has a nice cover, but then you go to the other side, the lock side, and you just see here, pocket clip side has this beautiful opposite color G10. They don't quite make it like this anymore. They make a lot of these in titanium, which still have that dope ass profile. Big old beefy knife in the hand, made in America in Massachusetts. And the thing is that Three Rivers Manufacturing got their start as Harper and titanium. So they actually, for years and years and years, anytime you handled a knife that had titanium, whether it was the hardware or the scales or whatever, pocket clip probably came from them. So they know what they're doing when it comes to just making a very good knife and having connections in the community. This thing is going to look fantastic in your EDC. I love the TRM Shadow. I think it's a really well done knife. And it's just one of those knives that gives you a lot of accessibility to the thumb stud. My biggest complaint about it is that to re-engage the lock is a little knobby. I mean, look at that. You can see how knobby that is right there. It's a little knobby. Okay. It's almost a little bit too big. Okay. But other than that, not a ton to complain about. Just something to think about if you're thinking about checking that out. Of course, we got to stay with the good old American made is Buck. Buck makes a lot of stuff overseas, but I like that they still keep up with their made in America line because it's tried and true. It's what our grandfathers are used to. And the Range Elite is one of those, along with the Range Pro, where you're getting a very good made in America life aluminum scales on the Range Elite version. Just this, like, I can't describe the sound of this. It's just when it comes down, the knife itself has this great sound as it tonks and slams down into the actual housing of the scales themselves. One thing I would say is I know I love that you guys do your Boss heat treat, but I'm not the biggest fan that you had to put Boss in Magna Cut on there. Maybe if you could have put Magna Cut, like, I don't know, somewhere else. It's just, it's almost kind of, the knife's busy. Like if you look here, right? Buck, right? I do want it to say Buck. Maybe we could have dropped the USA part. I don't know. It's just the blade is a little busy for me. Okay. That's like my only complaint about this. And the aluminum on this is a little slippery, but slippery when wet is one of those things that us fellas like, giggity. So this one is one of those ones which you may be able to tolerate that. You can Spidey flick it. I love that they did an offsetting color for the thumb studs. It looks really good. Just a fantastic knife that I don't think you're going to be disappointed with. There you go in your everyday carry with your Woburn X5, which just dropped yesterday. Video coming up on that. We also have got to mention Chaves Redemption 229. These knives are fantastic. Ramon Chaves, it comes from his great mind. Big old beefy knife I like to take with me. I'm going to a party with the bros. We're going to be popping some suds, talking shit. The fact that this is just one piece of metal, which makes it just that much more sturdy. So I love that you get one big old piece of metal that it's made from, but you can still change out the front of the scales right here. You want to change this out? I like the fact that you can personalize this by buying different scales on the front of from their website or from Blade HQ or whatever. It's a frame lock. It does have that dope ass what we're used to. The skull on the pocket clip on it. Biggest complaint about this, the pocket clip's a little strong. It's a little effing strong, okay? Other than that, this is one of those knives that if you want something heavy, you want something beefy, then I'm telling you, you're gonna like this a lot. Speaking of beefy, that we got to circle back around to Spyderco again. You make the list twice, you know you're doing something right. This one is just a little bit more slicey, a thinner of a profile than the Shaman. Okay, this is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and CPM Magna Cut. Fantastic knife. I do have the Ghost G10 scales on there, so it's ready for me to dye it and color it however the hell I want to. I'm not really a DIY coat type of scales type of guy, so it's probably going to stay just like this. But you know you can buy it in this option, and it's going to look dope if you decide to do something like that. It's just, it's fantastic, flicky. I mean, like, I like the Shaman, but it's something about the Paramilitary 2 lets you know you're holding America in your hands as you hold this golden Colorado, well-built, well-done knife in your pocket. Biggest complaint about this is I don't even think they should give you the option to carry this knife wrong-handed. I mean, just like they have the option to let you carry this tip down in your pocket. I think this is probably for people that put this into like bags or different applications. But I don't know a lot of people who like to carry tip down in their pocket. I wish they would get rid of these holes on the scales themselves and give me, I don't even want that option. I could probably go with some aftermarket like AWT scales or something like that and not have to worry about it. But I want it from the manufacturer. There you go, right there in your EDC. Looks freaking fantastic. I think it looks really good, and I think you're going to like it a ton. We got to circle around. We got to bring into the mix Benchmade has to make an appearance, okay? I really want the Vapor to make this list, and I'm hoping to get my hands on a Benchmade bug out Vapor very, very soon. But of all the Benchmades that I have, and I have like almost 20 of them, the Bailout, doesn't matter if it's the carbon fiber version, if it's the aluminum version, which I also have, I like the Bailout a lot. It is just, the only thing about a Bailout, doesn't really matter which one you get. When you get some knives from Benchmade's factory, you're gonna have to work them in. But I love what they did with this particular variant with the carbon fiber and the bronze accents when it comes to the actual hardware, minus the screws. Those are also black. This one's rocking S90V. It's just a very good, well-made knife. It's one of those knives that you can give, you can use. I love that it has like this ramp that kind of keeps your thumb from slipping up the knife when you're using it. It's really good for utility cuts and stuff like that because of the blade shape. I think that if you're trying to figure out a Benchmade knife to get, the Bailout has to be a heavy contender. They got rid of the option for the glass breaker. You can still customize and get it that way on their website, but I like that they got away from that. Just give me a big old lanyard hole back there. I like stuff like that. There it is in your everyday carry. I think it looks really sharp. Just one of those, those knives that you can carry this for a long time. Send it in with their life sharp warranty, get it sharpened up by them, you're going to be good to go. We got to talk about Ken Onion, and just some of the knives that he designed are freaking fantastic. He came up with this design for Columbia River Knife and Tool, Cricket, or CRKT, as some of us know them. This one here is the Redemption. This is based on his Dead Man design. This knife is paying homage to the poker players, the bikers, those that used to carry knives and they really weren't supposed to be carrying them. This one's freaking fantastic. The G10 almost feels like micarta. It's really well done. You have the titanium that kind of complements that. You have to flick it open. It makes it just feels like I'm a whole, just a, hey, what did you say to me, buddy? Yeah, I love the way that that comes down. The Magna Cut blade on this is very, very good. This is a knife that I carry more often than I thought that I would, because I thought, hey, I don't have a thumb stud, I don't have a flipper, a front flipper, a fuller. Just I have to flip it open. Yeah, and it snaps open. It's not one of those knives where you flip it open and you're like, damn, I missed, or damn, it came down on my finger. Does not do that. I haven't had that issues with it. I think it looks fantastic. This is just one of those knives that kind of just quiet underneath the table. A lot of people don't talk about it, but I think that it is so sleek looking. It's just so sleek looking. This thing looks fantastic, and I think it can work in an everyday carry easily. It's just, I love the dimensions and the way that Ken Onion came up with this design. I think it looks fan freaking tastic. And this could be your one and done knife. This thing's gonna cost you over 200 bucks, but I think it's worth it, especially if you're down with CRKT, their warranty, the way they do their knives. You're gonna like it a lot. It almost reminds me of an arrowhead in the front, in the middle of that, but that's not what that is, because this knife has an arrowhead in it. This is the Montana by Montana Knife Company. This is their first folding pocket knife. Let me tell you something. I know a lot of people shit on the price. A lot of people are not impressed by some of this, like overall, just like the thoughts of a G10 scaled liner lock knife. Until you get your hands on it, you won't understand why this knife is so good. Their version of these bearings, the ceramic ball bearings they have in here, are so freaking good, even to the point where the detent, really well done. The knife is just so good. It's just like, I can't describe why I enjoy a liner lock so much, because until I got this knife back, every time I get a liner lock into this studio, I may use it for a little while, and then literally, not being funny, it gets given away. Okay. I just got a Civivi headbanger in, and it's a nice knife. It's pretty cool. It's all right, but it's not this. You're gonna really enjoy the subtle details on their titanium hardware, the arrowhead in there, the blade shape, the Magna Cut blade on here. And then it's just one of those knives that is a generational warranty. You can pass this down to person to person to person. And if you get this one, or if you got the first run of it, you're gonna know that you got the first run of a folding knife from Montana Knife Company. And so will the price come down one day? I hope so, but I will say this. They've been dropping knives for years, and their Blackfoot 2.0 is the same price since when I first did the video on that years ago. They have not raised the price. Inflation is a son of a bitch. They're getting hit with it too. So the fact that a company can keep their prices at least the same says a lot. And I think that you're going to definitely enjoy this knife a ton. Look at that. You got the very good look in your everyday carry. I think it fits well in whatever you may have rocking and going on. And it's just a banger of a knife. Let me tell you my number one. This is my number one, not because of the materials, not because of the specs, but because of how it connects to me in a personal way. And this is what I mean by when I say a part of your everyday carry can connect to you in a personal way that people may not understand why you like it so effing much. Someone may get this Montana Knife Company gifted to them as their first knife, and it connects to them in a perfect way, and it's their knife forever. This knife was given to me, issued to me while I was in the Marine Corps, and this knife got me to get away from my gas station knife, the Ozark Trail that I was carrying from good old Walmart. I took this to Afghanistan. I took this to 11 additional countries. And the Gerber Fast Tanto Auto '06 with the automatic, the Tanto style blade, the S30V. S30V is over 25 years old, guys. It's a very good blade steel. That's why Benchmade used it for so effing long in their knives, because I mean, S30V is just tried, true, tested. It's been carried by troops overseas. Hence, I mean, I carried this one overseas. I love the fact that it has partial serrations. That's really good for cutting fibrous materials, right? So if you're cutting fibers or ropes or anything like that, burlap, this is really good for that. And then you got the blade itself that you can still use for cutting through stuff, piercing, pulling. Great finger guard if you ever had to use this for knife fighting or something like that. Steel handles on this, steel liners on it. Big old beefy, illegal in a lot of places type of knife is my number one because of my meaning for it coming to me when I got this bad boy when I went to Afghanistan. You can use the glass breaker functionality of it. It's just a big old dangerous knife. That's why I like it so much. That's what it looks like in an everyday carry. It's big, it's beefy, it's almost oversized. You saw my picks for the top 10, and I know you're gonna say I missed some, or I gave some too much credit, or whatever the case may be, but these are my top 10. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Let me know, what would you add to your top 10? Because obviously it wouldn't be exactly the same as mine, because we would be, great minds may think alike, but that would just be too close for comfort. This is the list that I like. I think this is a dope set of knives. In fact, let's turn these bad boys around so you can see them in their glory. So I like these, man. There's just so many that I could have included on this list. It almost feels like I'm about to start playing a hand of dominoes. But, let me know what's your favorite made in America pocket knife that I need to check out. First time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you part of the Battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.